Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today I wanted to share something special with you. So some of you are familiar with my everything CoD spreadsheet, but for those of you that are not, it is basically an all-inclusive spreadsheet that shares a lot of great information, a lot of factual information, a lot of just supportive information across a lot of areas. And I'm going to do a kind of a brief overview of what that does a little bit later on. But today, I want to focus on what the purpose of this video really is, outside of the extra tidbits we'll give you later on in the video, is on talent trees and how you can utilize this brand new tab that I just put together in a more advanced way of what you might be familiar with or just kind of doing traditionally, right? Which is, again, going in-game, clicking on your hero, clicking on talents, and then clicking on each of them to try and figure out which pathing you want to go along or how you want to play out that hero in that given instance. And so this is going to be a way to basically do a lot of that research, that studying, a lot of that pre-pathing before you even get in game, and then also some nice markers here that we'll explain in a moment on how you can kind of disseminate the talents a lot easier and figure out kind of what category they go into. So let's first start off with the talent tree page and how did I get all of this together? So first and foremost, this took me probably 5 or 6 hours just to sit here and type out every single talent for every single talent tree. And you're going to see them all here, right? So from left to right, right, we got gathering, we have overall, you can see them here, support 1, support 2, support 3. Now, the different numbers here essentially just indicate the columns, right? So support 1 is the farthest left column. For talents that are at your kind of pinnacle rows where you only have 2 talents, I split these up, right? So you have 1 on the left and then the 1 on the right. So everything here goes left to right and top down, regardless if it's inverted this way, if it's inverted that way, or if it's straight up and down. You can always kind of follow that simple book method, if you will. And so you can see here, right, skills we have at the top. Then we're over here at peacekeeping. There's infantry, magic. There's marksman, precision, cavalry, engineering, tank, PvP, mobility, control, garrison, and rally. Now, every single one of these that you see here, I had to type out manually. That's why it took me so long to do it. But you'll see on quite a lot of these, if it says 0 out of 5 or 5 out of 5, that just indicates that, you know, again, that's kind of what the base is, where I don't have any points put into it. And then for ones that do not have that, is essentially another indicator that it's either kind of a pinnacle or a kind of climax talent, or it's just one that only has 1 point, which there are some that do as well. So essentially, if you don't see a number here, again, just take that as there's only 1 point that you can put in. Again, bolding the names of the talents, descriptions for every single talent on the trees, and I'll probably rearrange this a little bit, maybe kind of going left to right for PvE and then going to PvP. And then eventually one of the other things I'm going to do on here as well is the thing I wanted to show you all, which is this, right? So you see how I kind of put these in blue, where, and again, I'm probably going to fine tune this a little bit more, but this is just kind of where my head's at in a way that I feel it can really help out the average player, which is, let's say you're going through the overall tree and you're trying to kind of get an early indicator of what type of talent are these, because remember, the only way you can figure this out is by actually going through and reading it. So you're not really going to know, like, you're not going to know ahead of time, right? And sometimes you can spend more time than you may need to reading through talents, and that's just an extra time you have to take. Now, of course, for those of you who enjoy reading through everything, of course, right, be my guest, be your own guest at all times. But for those that are looking for a quick synopsis or a quick like attribute or trigger word on what this talent is, kind of what the overview of the talent is, that's where these blue bolded in caps identifiers are there, right? So as an example, this says more damage. Well, let's read it. The Legion deals 0.3% more damage, right? 0 out of 5. That's pretty straightforward. When your Legion gains a buff effect, they gain rage, right? So the reason we said rage is because that's what you're gaining from it. Similarly here, increases your healing received by your legion by 0.5% and increases shields received by 0.5%, right? That's a buff. And then we look at something like a capacity, increases member capacity, right? So we have capacity, we have less damage, your legions take 0.8% less normal attack damage, so we put less damage, less damage, trying to simplify it a little bit. And then we have ones that are called stat, right? So increases the defense of your legion's unit by 0.4%. Stat basically means that it's a flat statistical increase that you get forever, right, when you put it in. The buff is more of something that is temporary, and that's kind of the difference between what you would consider a flat stat increase versus a buff increase, which is more temporary, right? It's you're triggering it or you're proccing it somehow, and it's only lasting for a short or a limited window. And then we have things like, again, if you look over heal, right, increases your legion's healing. Granted, now I could have said something, but I like the idea of having things that are dedicated, like heal and rage, that are a little bit more specific. So that's kind of where my mind is with that. Something like this removes the debuff effect for your legion. Auspicious, when they cast a rage skill, this effect can be triggered, right? So it's removing a debuff or removing a CC. So we say remove CC. Right, so again, I'm still tinkering with it. I'm sure we'll figure it out, and I'm going to fill out all of these as well that are here. I've only done 2 of them thus far, but I really wanted to get this video out because, one, it is getting a little bit late for me, and I wanted to kind of show you how you can utilize this. For those of you that are interested, of course, I'll have the COD spreadsheet in the pinned comment and description down below. Now let me get into a few of the other things, and I guess before I go there, bear in mind, this is a great resource for you to learn how to build out and how to path out your talents in a way where you can be more of an educated and informed player, so you can figure out how you want to customize your talent trees, right? Those of you who saw my last video that I talked about, when kind of how you go about building your talent trees, it's important to have a good understanding of how to go about doing that, right? I'm not big on just giving you a talent tree and you copying it. I think there's certain instances, like an example where maybe I go and I interview like the top fighters in the strongest kingdom, and I ask them for their opinion on, what do they think are some of the best talents that are out there, or do they want to share their talent trees with me, and then I can share that with you all, and we can look at consistencies and things like that. That's a little bit different. But me coming out and telling you, like, this is the absolute best pathing in a way, like, that's okay, but that's just not really, my biggest cup of tea. I love being able to give you more of the resources and the tools and the know-how so you can figure these things out on your own, because that's the only way you're going to feel more confident in what you're doing, right? Compared to if you don't know, or you're not confident in building out talents, you're just going to keep copying whatever you end up seeing. It's better to have an understanding and have a true grasp of what you're doing, so that way you're able to gain the knowledge, gain the experience, gain the know-how, and now you're more comfortable in going and building your talent trees the way you then know how or are able to do. So now let's look at a few other things here that I have. So I did a little bit of an overhaul as far as some other upgrades. I did add the new heroes. Frager's here, so you have all the details here for Frager. And then we also have Syndrian as well, that's been added, obviously how to attain in addition. And then I have my other guy, one of the players that hit me up in regards to, let me minus this, I have to remember the name here, Kitchen Chips. Thank you. So Kitchen Chips ended up building out, or is building out, the Augerstone Season 1++ timeline. So you're going to have that there. I'm actually going to be re-going through my Season 1 and 1+ Augerstone, so I can reconfirm some of the information, along with the Kingdom event timeline, right? So this is something that's really important. So Season 1, Season 1+, and then we're going to do 1++ as well. So those are things. And I want to point out that if anyone is interested in helping out, or you want to work on something like the Augerstone or the Kingdom event timelines, or you want to add things like the pop-up bundles, which is something that I really would love to be doing a lot more of when it comes to those. I have to remember where I put those. I think it's bundles pop-up. Like, this is something I'd love to build out a little bit more. I mean, I have, again, about 20 of them here, but this doesn't obviously account for all of them that are in the game. But this is just a great resource for those of you that haven't had a chance to come and just take a look. I have everything for the full Alliance tech. We have Augerstone Season 1+ for some differences. We have artifacts, so you can look. Oh yeah, and I added the new ones here, which is Rattle Spear, and then Spring Blades are the two new ones, so those have been added here as well. You have examples here on like how to pair artifacts, so if you're just kind of looking for an idea on how to go about doing that, that's available to you. We have a page here on behemoths, so you can see every single behemoth for season 1. I'm gonna have to end up updating this though, because season 1++ obviously has different behemoth allocations. But if you're looking for how it plays out in season 1 and in season 2, given that they haven't changed anything from season 1 to season 2, season 1 and then season 1+, those are the same. So, but again, you can look at them all here. It shows you giants. It shows you, again, where the chords are, regions, what the buffs are. You get first occupation, building info. Again, credit to Fotaro, who put this one together. Like I said, we got the pop-up bundles. You have College of Order, so if you're looking at your academy, you can go ahead and look at what the pathing is there. We have events. I have to add a few more here, but if you're just looking for kind of an idea on what are all the events in the game, right, there's a page on here that shows you a lot of them. There's a few I think I do have to add now because it has been a minute, but there's a lot of them that are there. Some information on factions and some of the differences, some of the similarities. Again, all the heroes that you're able to find here. Some examples on hero pairing, so if you're trying to get an idea on, you know, why or when you would pair. Here's some examples, right? So you can see kind of global release here was on Kingdom 32. If you're looking for just some information on, you know, like when was the first kingdom released, you know, what was the intervals during the beta period. This kind of covers the beta kingdom, so if you're just curious on some of the information there. Notice boards, so if you're looking for policies as an example, this has to be updated as well because obviously they just added the elixir healing, so I'll have to change that a little bit. Some statistics on units, so if you're looking for like T5 versus T1 base stats, there's some information here. Villages is something I'm debating with, but VIP, this is something that's there. VIP store, so if you're looking for some information on costs, kingdom event timelines, and I just have some other stuff that's around here as well. But you can kind of see, like, here's an example of like season 1, you know, what days, so you can kind of know what days the events come up. But again, I have to re-go through this to update it. So again, there's a lot in here right now, and hopefully the talent tree, which is kind of the big bulk part of this video, was helpful in some way. And like I said, if anyone's interested in helping out, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. You know, I'm happy to kind of give you access to any of the dedicated tabs. I have a master copy that I always save to as well as a backup, just in case, which I just think is good practice in general. But yeah, so that's going to do it for me. Again, I'd love to know what you guys think about the talent tree tab that I've added here to our everything COD spreadsheet. If you have any other ideas on maybe things I can do outside of what I've already mentioned that might be a little bit more of a way to spruce it up, feel free to let me know. And that's going to do it for me, man. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.